Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to week 4 of my 6-week countdown Halloween series. Today I have this treat box which I created with both the seasonal labels dies. You'll find this on page 18 of the July to December 2021 mini. This set of dies have some rather large labels, so I've used this one to create the tab at the top, and also one of these dies to cut the aperture here to put the ribbon in. I'm also going to be using the Sparkle of the Season bundle. Find that on page 58. Quite a good investment because it fits all sorts of seasons, so you can use it for Halloween, Thanksgiving or spring, depending on the colour you use, and also for Christmas. For my project I only used this wreath and the bats. I'll set those aside. Use the cute Halloween 6x6 designer series paper to decorate my box. So I fussy cut some pumpkins and a ghost and the cat to decorate my box with. You need some black glimmer paper and some adhesive sheets. I've already done that on the back. Sequins for everything. Pumpkin pie and a sponge dauber. Tuxedo black memento ink. Metallic mesh ribbon and the black gingham ribbon. I've gone ahead and pre-die cut these to save time, so I need 3 bats and I cut them out of the middle from the leftovers so as to conserve the paper, and I won't throw this away because I can use it for other things. Now let's run through the cardstock you need for the box base. You start off with a sheet of cardstock in pumpkin pie 7 inches by 10.5 inches. In metric this will be 18 centimeters by 27 centimeters. Bring in my scoreboard and you start with the short side on top and you score at 1/2 inch all the way down, 2 inches, 5 inches and 6.5 inches. In metric that will be 1 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 13 centimeters and 17 centimeters. Then take your cardstock anti-clockwise a 1/4 turn so that the long side is on the top, and you partially score at 4 inches down to the second score line. Run your stylus at 4 inches down to the bottom of your cardstock, and from 4 inches up to that second score line at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. From the bottom up to the second score line, and then you score all the way down at 5.5 inches, 7 inches, 8.5 inches and 10 inches. So in metric this will be partially scored at 10 centimeters at the top to the second score line, and from the bottom at 10 centimeters up to the second score line at the bottom. Then you score all the way down at 14 centimeters, 18 centimeters, 22 centimeters and 26 centimeters. Now we want to do the tabs. This is the top of your box and you need a tab in this first square here at the top, and the second skip one, and then the second one down from that. 5.5 inches just between these 2 score lines, and the same with this one. Skip one and score again 1/2 inch between these 2 score lines and those 2 score lines. So here's my template. Okay, so we basically want to cut down this panel here up to that first score line, and the same on this side. Okay. Rotate it so that the long side is facing you, and you want to cut up those tabs. Cut in between here. Bend that back, and you want to cut this bit here. Bend this back. This is the bottom one. Just cut it straight. You can miter it later, just to make sure I'm not cutting off the wrong thing. And you want to keep that tab. Fold these short tabs in, and you want to cut away this one that sits in between it. And this is where you're going to cut your finger hole. So on the opposite side, you want to cut up these short score lines. So snip that off at the end, this rectangle here down at the bottom. This is going to be your lid. So fold that back. This is the tab of your box, so you want to cut that off. Fold that in. This is your finger hole. And this is another tab for your box. Now you will need a couple of extra punches. This is the corner rounder punch, which has been retired, but I've still got mine. And this is the 1/2 inch circle punch, I think, which has also been retired. So now I'm going to just corner round these tabs here, because that's the lid. And I'm also going to do these because it just gives it a neater look. Now I want to die cut this, reinforce the score lines first. I'm going to punch my finger holes now. I want to insert that and make sure it's equidistant on both sides. I want to put tear and tape on the flap, which is on my left. Snip that off. So with the double-sided tape there, I know it's going on here. So this is the front of the box. So I want the cutting edge of the die to face down this way, okay? It'll go on platform 1, platform 2, one of the platform 3s. And I'm only partially cutting it, so it's not going to go through. Let me turn this round. So I make sure that I only put my die cutting plate right here, so it won't cut through anything else. I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. That's die cut the top for it. Next I want the ribbon slot, so I shall stick that down with tape or a sticky note and run it through the machine again. Now we want to adhere our matte layers. So you have 2 matte layers in basic black, and this is being cut at 1 3/8 by 2 7/8. So let's glue that on. And you want that on the side of the box and one on the top. This will be the top of the box. These 2 bottom panels here. In metric, this will be 3.5 by 7.5 centimeters. And you have 2 square black matte layers. Both these measure 1 3/8 by 1 3/8, and that's for the lid of the box on the side. In metric, this will be 3.5 by 3.5 centimeters. Then you have 2 pieces of cute Halloween designer series paper, and I've chosen this pattern. And this measures 1 1/4 by 2 3/4 inches. So I shall pop that on there. In metric, that will be 3 centimeters by 7 centimeters. And for the lid, the second matte layer in the cute Halloween papers is 1 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. In metric, that will be 3 by 3 centimeters. So pop that there. Now we can assemble the box. So take this backing sheet off for the box and fold that over like so. Okay, so there's your box. Those are the flaps. There's the bottom of the box, and then you can pop that in. Now we want to remove the backing sheet. Now this will stick to you, so let's rotate it so that it will fit inside the box. And I'm going to put the 2 leaves down here, like so. I've pre-die cut some of the paper to decorate my box with. So I'll put the pumpkin there. I'll put the cat on top. I've cut the part of a ghost. I'll pop him here. Use my stamparatus to stamp this sentiment, just in case the ink doesn't take on the cardstock and I have to stamp it again to make it more intense. Bring in my trimmer. I'll trim that off. I'm just going to snip that off by eye and cut a couple of flag ends. I'm just going to sponge daub the edges of this label. I'm going to use a glue dot for this end of the label, and I've put a double stack of dimensionals where this bit goes up, and I'm just going to pop that on. Now I'm going to pop the bats on, one up here and one on either side of the label. Now I've used these everyday sequins and I've put them on these glue dots here. Last thing to do is thread this through. I've left it on the roll so I can gauge how long I want it. Make a loop on the gingham ribbon so that I can pop it over the mesh, pull it tight and tie a bow. Last thing to do is fill it with sweeties, and 3 of these Toblerone will go in it. So I hope you've enjoyed today's Halloween project. Thanks for joining me. All the supplies are listed below this video in the Show More section. Join me again next week for episode 5. Thanks for watching. Bye.